Yo, 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 yo. What the is up, fight fans? It's your man, 3K the Boss, aka Mr. Two Cans Up, aka Mr. I'm late 99.999% of the time, and hell no, I ain't sorry. Respectfully, you already know what it is. Hey, man, shout out to everybody. I apologize for running late. If nobody knows or whatever, right now there's a lot going on in my life. My father is currently in critical condition in New Jersey, and I'm his only son, and he's not married. So all the decisions are left up to me for the good, the bad, so anybody who's ever experienced something like this, which I have not, you know what I'm saying, as far as having to be responsible for things like this, you would know that this shit, like, it's not the easiest thing to do. So I've just been trying to just ground myself in work and just staying busy and dealing with a bunch of different shit. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Hope everything is good. Let's get to the business. All right, man. Shout out to George William Gordon. Salute, my brother. I hope everything's good with you this morning. All right, man. So apparently we got Teofimo Lopez, man, firing off the hip. I don't know if this dude is sipped from the same dusty ass, you know what I mean, like water bucket that Deontay Wilder sips from, you know what I mean, the one that he's supposed to be for water, but niggas piss in it on purpose just so he can sip out of it. I don't know. I don't know if they sipping from the same water bottle or whatever that supposedly was handed down from Mark Breland, but Teofimo Lopez is definitely suffering from some serious delusions. Maybe it could have been a George Kambosos punch. I don't know, but these are things that we're going to have to figure out. But the fact still remains that this dude jumps out of the window and he is 100%, 1000% a hater. In every sense of the word. Everything he says he doesn't like, everything he says he despises, all of the talk about him being so authentic, all of the talks about him being so real, he can't stand on that firmly because he's not a real individual. If it comes to having a backbone, my dude, you don't have it. Like, when does it go to a point to where another man, where we live in a world in the boxing era where every individual who actually goes out of their way to work hard, to persevere, to actually achieve something, we go to our little boxes in our own little four corners of the world, and we just sit up there and we just start to tweet like little women on our menstrual cycle and just hate on other people's success. I can't subscribe to that idea. I've never been the type of individual that ever does something, that's ever done something like that, excuse me. Will I ever do it? No. I'm allergic to hating on another person. Now, if you give me a reason to flame you, I will flame you, as any man should, as we should all, protect our own personal interests, and we should all protect the foundations of whatever our names are built on. But when we are speaking on an individual like Teofimo Lopez, if we look at the trajectory of where his career rocketed off at and where it has kind of fallen off and where he has kind of landed now, I would say, bro, this dude has seriously played himself. This is what happens when you get drunk off of your own hype. This is what happened when you have a crackhead, alcoholic father for a trainer, and you constantly let this dude get into your ear, and you think because this dude is your daddy, he's giving you the most sound advice. Listen, bro, I'm here to tell you, everybody that's your family ain't necessarily blood. And people that ain't necessarily your blood is motherfucking your family sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was that dude, I would have had to heed the warnings that other people around the boxing world that have been echoing from the chambers of their halls for a very long time now. Bro, if you don't get away from your daddy, bro, if you don't tone down your daddy, bro, if you don't be the boss, or you don't be the captain of your own boat and take control of your career and tell this dude he needs to chill out, it's going to become a major problem for you. And now we're looking at your career. You look like a court jester. For anybody who doesn't know what that is, you know the kings of old and stuff like that. They needed forms of entertainment. So they would have these court jesters come through, juggling, making them laugh, doing all types of goofy shit. If they wanted to kick them in the ass, smack them upside the head, bitch them, hit smack them in the face with a pie, treat them like, you know, kind of a carnival sideshow, kind of individual sideshow Bob type. They would do all of that. That is the equivalent of what Teofimo Lopez has become to the boxing world. It's almost like, hey, man, Deontay Wilder, guys, I figured it out. I've really finally figured it out. And shout out to you, George. Appreciate you with the super chat. I'm about to read it right after I let you guys know what I just figured out now. Deontay Wilder has officially had a baby. He was the first guy to legitimately have a baby. Holy shit. How did I miss it? How did we miss the fact that Deontay Wilder was able to conceive a child of his own, flat-headed to say the least, nose all fucked up, eyes go a little left and right, wander around a little from time to time, but getting still, Deontay had a baby. And I'm pretty sure we can all figure out what that baby's name is. Teofimo Lopez Jr. Yeah, he had that baby. Clearly. Because the sins of the father have trickled down to the son. And I mean, damn, he walking in those footsteps. I mean, look, bro. Hey, if you ever worried about, you know, jumping in Deontay Wilder's shoes, and if you ever were able to walk firmly, stand tall, and be able to fill those sneakers or fill those boxing shoes and fit that size, my guy, you have officially done it. You've done it. You've done it. Congratulations. Shout out to the bro George, man. He says, I blame Punch Drunk for T.O. being moist these days. Man, thanks for bringing that to my attention too, George, because yeah, Punch Drunk is a major part of that. Punch Drunk, man, listen, bro, I don't pull no punches on my reel, but Punch Drunk did a lot of dick jacking over there. Respectfully. He did a lot of motherfucking Indian burning. I ain't gonna do that, respectfully. But he did a lot of cock jacking over there. And I mean, if anybody feels like I'm a little too, you know, rough with, you know, my approach, I mean, so be it. I really don't care, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just keeping it honest, man. Anytime, you know, he benefited from that viewership. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, you're going to protect that interest. And that's cool. I get it. You know, do what you do. You know, but for me, you know, this is, y'all created this monster. And you got this guy on Twitter, for anybody that doesn't know, this dude jumps on Twitter and he gets it, posted a picture of Devin Haney and George Kambosos after he wins Undisputed for the second time, claiming, you know, keeping his titles. This motherfucker says, Undisputed? Really? Sheesh, or whatever the case may be. You know Twitter flamed his ass. But my thing is, how is a person so disconnected from reality that they don't even know that that was a stupid move? Could you not know? Is the pussy power that real? Is the pussy power that real? Do she got you that fucked up? I mean, what is it? Now, shout out to Bruce Vane. Bruce Vane said that he think the nigga on drugs, like straight up and down. He thinks this motherfucker is on drugs. Top flight fucking fentanyl. I'm just bullshitting. I threw the top flight fentanyl in there. But yeah, Bruce Wayne thinks this motherfucker is on drugs. Are we wrong for thinking that? Charles D, what's popping with the bro? Salute, man. I'm glad you're back on the block. Harlan, what's popping, sweetheart? Yeah, man, it's been a while, but you know what I'm saying? We back under construction. So, you know, everything, you know what I'm saying? Everything is what it is, but it's all good. But yeah, bro, like, Hold on. Shout out to Ill Status Boxing. He says Arnold Barbosa said, "What's good?" T.O. said, "Please don't let him fight." He said Arnold Barbosa said, "What's good?" T.O. said, "Please don't let me fight him." Damn, son. So hold on. Let me expand on that a little bit. Are you saying that he was saying don't let him fight Devin Haney? Because if that's the case, I mean, it kind of coincides with his actions and the way he's been moving. Like, let's run through the timeline a little bit. Let's have a moment of his nostalgia here. Let's go back and let's replay what transpired. Teofimo Lopez does what? He knocks out Richard Comey. Does it beautifully. Second or third round. Beautiful right hand. Timed perfectly. Boom. Puts him to sleep. IBF belt goes around the waist. Goes crazy, talking all spicy. They running down Loma. Of course, Loma was that dog. He was really the boogeyman around it at that time. So, of course, nobody really believed that T.O. could do what he could do. But the world was paying attention. We were all excited to see it. We wanted to know what would take place. I backed T.O. in a world where a lot of people wouldn't back this kid. Power isn't enough to get around the high IQ that is Vasily Lomachenko. Power isn't enough to get him around the matrix that is Lomachenko. But he did that. Did he revisit that? He did that. But did he revisit that though? So, strike number one. Well, we start scratching our head now. Because, bro, we got a question. Yo, why don't you want to revisit that fight? First half, you made him look like he was apprehensive of the power. Second half of the fight, you barely got by. You barely got by, my dude. Like by the head, you chinny chin chin type shit. Now, you don't want to give him a rematch. You don't want to go back to it. I understand. I wasn't sympathetic towards the shoulder shit or nothing like that, but the fight looked like what it looked like. And if you wanted to silence the critics, you should have revisited that. Now we see you fight George Kambosos. You was on top of the world talking all this shit. What happened when you fought Kambosos? Bro, you got exposed for exactly some of the things that I've always complained about when it came to your career. Being flat-footed, not being able to get off of the shot first, not being able to implement an offensive off of the front foot. It is impossible. There's no way that you've ever been able to do it within your career. You want to know why? Because you've always been flat-footed. You've always played it off the back foot. You've always countered off of the pot shot. You've lived your life that way. You've lived your life the Floyd Mayweather way, but you not Floyd Mayweather, and your father damn sure ain't Floyd Sr., and you damn sure ain't got no Roger in his corner. It all came back to bite you in the ass. Were you humble in defeat? You were not. Devin Haney ran you down time and time again. How many times did you make the promise that you were going to make this fight? Did you do it after Comey? No. Did you do it after Loma? No. Did you do it after Kambosos? No. Did you fight Kambosos again? No. What did you do? Oh, you relinquished the belt. What did you do? Run the 140. And you put on a lackluster performance against a proverbial nobody, a literal NPC. Bro. You literally put on a fucking nothing of a performance at 140 against a non-playable character, B. Nobody cares. But when you spew out this shit and you talking about individuals who are picking up your tab since you decided to leave and not pay your bills at the bar, Devin Haney had to pick that tab up. And I mean, you kind of treated the boxing world like a rookie symposium when the vets take you out after they going for the dinner and stick you with the bill. That shit was hella long, bro. You had a lot of bones in your closet. But Devin came through and he swept them shits up for you. Yeah, he did all of that. He beat your dude ass. No, he fought him once, just completely outboxed him. And then he came back again and fought him twice and did the same thing and completely outboxed him. Your dad didn't know what to tell you on the corner. He told you you needed to get off first. He told you you not throwing your hands. He told you the dude looking weak, he ready to go. And then he told you, man, you need to pick the shit up. What type of flip-flopping crack mixed with ecstasy, mixed with LSD were y'all smoking in the corner? But we talking about Devin Haney. You don't want to fight that guy. I don't know if anybody remembers, but I had your pops on my fucking channel and Bill Haney at the same time. My nigga, I do recall your power was off in your apartment, nigga, and all of a sudden you needed to find your phone charger. We never saw you again. You promised to fight him. Bill Haney said he was going to come pick you up. Both of y'all was in Vegas. He was going to slide. He was going to come grab you. Y'all was going to sit down, break bread, and try to make the fight happen. Bro, that live was like 2 years ago. 2 years ago. While everybody criticized this young man at every turn, and they applied pressure to this dude at every turn. They made Ryan Garcia, they made Tank Davis the golden child. Did that dude take it personal? Nah. Did that dude bitch or do anything that them niggas did? Nah. Shout out to Ryan Garcia, because he went to work this summer. You know what I'm saying? He faces demons. He fought Javier Fortuna. You know what I'm saying? That's a respectable win. I ain't got nothing but respect on that. We only hold people accountable for what they don't do, and we give them praise for what they do. But anyway, back to Devin. Did that nigga pull the sucker shit the rest of y'all pull? Nah, that motherfucker just put his fucking head down and he got to fucking work. He built his rapport, his resume, his name up. One man's trash is another man's treasure, bruh. Hold on, let me repeat that, T.O. One man's trash is another man's treasure, bruh. You know that shit that you Riddick bowed and you left at 135? Yeah. That WBC boy, shout out to them Philly niggas, that WBC boy, he picked that shit up. Oh, you mad now? Oh, you mad now? I got you. Man, listen, man, you can't make this up, man. When the hate becomes so real, they gotta start telling lies, man. Just get that boy a pack of Kotex, man. Get him some Kleenex, man. Put him in a dark room. Put one bullet in the revolver and just let him sit there with that crack pipe and just keep spinning that motherfucker. Real talk. I had to unsubscribe from Punch Drunk. All that dick pulling he was doing. Bro, it was like watching Punch Drunk deal with anything when it come to Teofimo Lopez. You want to know what that said to me? It was everything that, you know, it literally highlighted to me, literally, like, you know, just like, it reminds me of the climate that I live in today, like zero accountability. It's like, you're not going to hold Teofimo, you're not going to hold Teofimo Senior accountable for anything. You're going to use zero, you're going to use 1000% of lack of accountability when it comes to everything, when it comes to them, because that shit building you up. So, you know what I'm saying? But see, here's the crazy thing that people need to realize though. Be careful of be careful of the shit you do, or be careful of who you big up and who you go out your way to dick pull and pull up. And if you're not going to stand on the truth when it comes to it. Because when niggas crash out like this, like literally, like kamikaze, like crash out like this, how does that make you look in the long run? What does that say about your credibility to the boxing world in the long run? What does that say about the authenticity of you as a real person? What does that say about your character? What does that say about everything that you've amassed, the following, the hard work that you put into your channel? Because I would never disrespect his work ethic. I would never disrespect him as a person. I would never disrespect like him as a human being. But as far as your character, I have to question that. And I'm not saying that I'm questioning Punch's character as like when it comes to him in life at all. I'm just saying, based off of what I'm given and prior events, I would have to say, yeah, bruh, it makes dudes highly questionable when they do shit like that. Like y'all know, hell yeah, is life in shambles. You know that. Y'all know when we address these professionals, bro, we don't do that over here. We gonna hold them to the tough questioning, because at the end of the day, you get results from that. The like at the end of the day, you not like boxing don't benefit from them niggas dick pulling other boxers. The only thing that benefits is their own lives. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, if that's how you get your kicks, my nigga, go ahead and get them. You know, but I for one, you know what I'm saying, would rather exist in I would rather exist in a room with the ugly truth than a pretty motherfucking lie and a couple of, whatever little perks that come with that. Nah, that ain't me. But that's literally what you call the art of dick riding up. Oh hell yeah, bro! I ate something crazy, Charles D. Oh yeah, shout out to everybody who placed bets on that T.O. Loma situation, cause I know y'all ate hella good. Trust me, I did. I did. Ill status. T.O. don't want to fight Devin or Arnold Barbosa. Barbosa's calling him out. T.O. said he don't want to fight that bum. Man, listen, man. T.O. don't want any smoke with anything that goes against his advantages. And I would, you know what I'm saying, and I would highly suggest that, all my reapers pay attention to that when it comes to the boxing world. When you hear these guys and they're apprehensive about, who they are willing to fight, when they want to fight them, and how they speak on fighting them. Because the first response that you should get from any professional boxer when it comes to their peers, I don't care if they rest around 147 or a weight class right above them. Because in reality, we can meet somewhere in the middle. We have catchweights. We have individuals that are going to grow into their body eventually or whatever. If it's realistic, I highly suggest people pay attention to what they're saying, because the only response that should come out of these individuals' mouths at the end of the day is, hey, man, send me the offer. Anybody can get it. You should have anybody can get it type of energy, because at the end of the day, that's what you signed up for. That's what you do. And it's immediately going to put a chink in your armor, or you're going to have an individual like me and my platform. I'm going to be scratching my head and I'm going to be wondering, what's up with this dude? He didn't immediately jump on that. If it's I got things I got to take care of over here. Bro, why do every time somebody name come up, niggas get real busy? You notice that? Every time somebody name come up that could be literally threatening to your rise to success or your claim to fame, immediately y'all niggas or block, you know what I'm saying? Or it could be your potential last high payday. Bro, these dudes get really busy. They become all of a sudden like all this like pioneers of excellence. Like these dudes just jump on the ball all of a sudden. Like they got so much shit going on. I never knew individuals, especially guys like Premier Boxing Champions guys who literally don't even have a schedule. The only time they ever had a schedule is if you were dealing with the likes of Showtime, and sometimes that didn't even pan out in the way it panned out. It got stretched out or it just fell the fuck off. Like, how can you sit up there and say you got so much shit going on? Y'all motherfuckers don't even got a schedule. You can't make this shit up. Teofimo Lopez, you acting like you can't get a hold of Devin Haney. That motherfucker walked over to your side of the street and y'all niggas had the nerve to say it was the boxing politics or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The promotional outfit trying to fuck us, but you walked your stupid ass on the zone. How was it the politics of boxing? You wanted to go to purse bid, stupid. You cut off your nose to spite your face. I thought the niggas was going to come in. It was a $40-50 million fight and all of that. Yo, pay attention to the ones that don't say straight out their mouth that they trying to fight, and pay attention to these dudes when they talking about a $1 million fighter is about to be involved in something worth $50 million or some shit like that. You got to ask yourself, when dudes start talking astronomical numbers, there's got to be some level of some really, really high volume, high test crack involved. Like they smoking the best crack that money can buy. I know for a fact T.O. father smoking the best Hubba Rocks money can buy. This nigga be saying some real, real Zaza shit. And what I mean by Zaza shit, I'm talking some top flight, potent ass, cracked out shit. Like you can't make this up. Loma had no rematch clause. Thought T.O. was going. He thought he was going to wash T.O. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, but here's well, I ain't even going to say that. You want to know why there was no rematch clause, Charles D? And I'm not playing devil's advocates. I'm just speaking what the reality is and the facts. Teofimo went on this campaign, him and his father, about how, you know what I'm saying, they wanted, they wanted to implement a rematch clause because, he was afraid of losing. Lomachenko straight up said that he never asked for a rematch clause, and since they made such a big scene about it, he pulled the rematch clause from the contract. So Loma pulled that shit on behalf of T.O., talking about something. The only reason it was in the contract was for that reason. Loma bent in a lot of areas where T.O. wasn't willing to bend at all. Loma gave up a portion of his purse. Loma took out the rematch clause and all of that shit. When in reality, I don't care how confident you are, bro. You gotta back your business. You gotta back your name. So, man, really, really, T.O. used that reverse psychology and tricked that man up out his spot, and Loma fell for that shit. Like, because it's situations like this. You know what I mean? Because at the same token, my nigga, when we hear him talk spicy about, he don't want to take the rematch, like we gotta give I gotta give him that same energy when you selling big wolf tickets about how he wanted the rematch clause because you was afraid you was going to lose. Well, if you was afraid he was going to lose and he wanted the rematch clause in and he pulled it out, are you afraid that you going to lose now? Because I would have to use that same type of rhetoric when it comes to T.O. Oh, is the reason you don't want the rematch? Are you afraid you're going to lose as soon as you got the belt? Because son pulled the rematch clause because you didn't want it. You complained about it. You said he was scared and all of this other stuff. Like, bro, hey, listen, man, I come from, you know what I'm saying? Like, I come from, you know what I mean? I come from, you know what I'm saying? I got a street upbringing. So, in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mind thinks to certain morals that go back to the street that are just ingrained in me. And what I mean by that is, like, loyalty. Loyalty amongst your brothers, or loyalty amongst people that you do business with, family and friends or whatever, or any person you deal with. You stand on your word. You stand on your honor. So when I speak, what I'm saying by segue into that is that a person who pulls basically damn near 800K up out of their bread to give it to you and gives you an opportunity to become a unified champion, you know what I mean? You got to show some type of respect for that. You know what I'm saying? And an individual, regardless of whatever, dude gave you the opportunity and you wasn't willing to give it back. Bruh pulled money out of his purse and he ain't even had to do. You wasn't willing to pull that back. You know what I'm saying? So you're not willing to run that back with a man who was willing to do all of those things for you, took the rematch clause out on you, which really gave you freedom. You know what I mean? Instead of, hampering you to whatever the contractual obligation is on his end, because in all reality, Loma had all of the cards. He never even had to fight T.O. He could have kept stonewalling T.O. or saying fuck T.O. for as long as he want, and realistically making T.O. rightfully so build up his name in the way a lot of these other fighters do. But he kept it throwback. So at the end of the day, T.O. just looked like a sucker for not keeping that throwback energy with Loma. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't keeping no throwback energy with Devin. You ain't keeping no throwback energy with Loma, but you talk real crazy, though. You talk like you a tough guy, but you show the actions of like a scared boy. Like, it's like if this was a den of fucking wolves and the mouse just happened to just be running away from whatever he trying to get away from. He just fall in that motherfucker, and then you just look up, nigga, and you just look around you, and you around nothing but fangs, and you just like, oh shit, the walls just closed in. That's like T.O. right now, bruh. It's like, bro, you closed in by people who have the athletic tendencies and the ability to expose you. And if you think by skirting your way off to 140, it's gonna get easier for you. No, it's gonna get a lot worse because all of the killers at 140 right now will straight whitewash you. Don't even think. Don't even think you stand a solid chance at 140. And then all of the young killers who bodies is filling out at 130 pounds from 126, 130, 135 on up, they headed on their way there too. Fangs, my nigga. Mouse. Den of wolves. Surrounded by fangs. It is what it is, man. Let's call a spade, man. Shout out to George with the super chat. It's for us a good developmental step up for Big Baby Anderson. And should Areola, Huey Fury, Wab Chisora be next? Is he ready for world level? Man, look, Jerry Forrest. I mean, it's season. He's your season professional that guys can go to get some good rounds in. And I mean, he should stop a Jerry Forrest, of course. You know, like he should stop it. He should get in there and Big Baby for where we see him. Or as where I put him, speaking for myself, he should stop a guy like that with no problems, and you know what I'm saying, advance him on to the next thing. Like, who would be a good one? Who would be a good one for him? Amarius Wack would be a better look in my eyes because Marius Wack is so tall. What's Marius Wack, like 6'7", 6'8", something crazy like that? He gave Big Baby Miller good work for 12 solid rounds. Gave Dillian White good work for 12 solid rounds. And that's somebody with a lot of ring experience who's been in there with every, champion, every professional you possibly could think of. So I think Marius Watt, him getting behind his jab or whatever and being as patient as he is, it would probably be a much better spectacle for us to witness Big Baby working on the breakdown, using his boxing and going after a guy like Marius Watt and see if he really, really can expose him, break him down, make him wilt early, because that would be really telling about Big Baby's power. You know what I'm saying? Like Big Baby, like he shows a lot of flash, he shows a lot of power, amazing footwork, and he's ferocious. He's angry, he's mean, he's nasty, he's got all of the makeup of everything that presents to be a world level problem. And I already see him as a world beater. I just have to see him in there with guys like that with experience. I think Areola would be a good one for him, but I think I wouldn't want to see him in there with a guy like Chris Areola because Chris Areola done took so much mileage. So I think that, that type of head trauma from a guy like Big Baby, nah, I wouldn't want that for Chris. I've got a lot of respect for Chris, man. I think Huey Fury, not the best chin, but he's got pretty solid movement, a lot of good range. I think that, Big Baby could show a lot of flash and show nuance to his game. We're dealing with those type of individuals because it presents a different level for him. Like I said, with Marius Watt, he got to deal with that weight. You got to deal with that reach. You got to deal with that length, and you got to deal with that patience. And believe it or not, man, patience is enough to piss a ferocious fighter off and make it a long night for him. I mean, think about Dillian White. Even though we know Dillian White came in pretty much heavier than he's ever been, he's dealing with a lot of stress and all that, but still, Dillian White had to meticulously pick that man apart inside of the phone booth all night long. So I would rather see a guy like Marius Watt or even like a Huey Fury, or better yet, honestly, for real, give him a Marius Watt, give him a Huey Fury or something like that, and then honestly, shit, for real, man, give him Philip Hergovich. Give him Philip Hergovich. Give him Philip Hergovich, then give him a shot at the world title. I think him and Philip Hergovich should fight. If he get a hold of Philip Hergovich, him and Philip Hergovich, no bullshit, would be the fight, you know, to decide like what guy should really have a shot at one of those two big names. And honestly, I don't even feel like Philip Hergovich should be in that position right now. And that's how I really feel. I feel like bro got robbed. You know, I don't feel like Philip Hergovich should be in this position. You know what I'm saying? But Philip Hergovich would be a great fight for Big Baby. I was on Punch Drunk Neck when it was happening, but at the time he got sick, so I got backlash for it. And then realistically, man, I don't want to speak on what I do know, what I don't know, but man, people said that shit was cap, bro. Like I ain't even gonna lie to you, George. A lot of people said that car accident shit. They said that shit was like on some stunt type shit. Now me, I ain't gonna sprinkle no type of no negative opinion on no man who could have potentially been badly hurt in an accident or just been in an accident. I would never talk bad or I would never say nothing about another individual or speak on something that I do not know. So, you know, but there's a general consensus that is going around that is breezed back past my earway that that shit was cap. I don't know. I don't pay enough attention to another person's life to be all in that. But as far as the dick eating, the dick gobbling, and the dick pulling, oh, he definitely was definitely guilty of, you know what I'm saying, serving up them goddamn them Wawa gobbler bowls. That nigga was serving up them Wawa gobblers for T.O. and them niggas, man. Who's to say Lomachenko is going to beat Jermaine Ortiz? We don't know that yet. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he is. Here's the thing, man. Like at the end of the day, man, this is the sport of boxing. I've seen, you know, I've seen crazy shit happen to some of the most, you know, ferociously perceived fighters, and it don't work out in their favor. Because at the end of the day, it's like I've told you guys several times, I'm of the belief that none of these fighters are who they say they are, except a couple of them. You feel me? Like we haven't been given the proper spectacles to where we can confidently hang our hat on knowing who these guys are. Like realistically, it's like even with my bro Dimitri Bivol, right? It's like I want to say that dude is 1000% what I believe him to be. But until we get Artur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol, we ain't gonna know. You know what I'm saying? Like I can hang my hat on saying Usyk is really what I believe him to be. But I don't know because Anthony Joshua didn't never walk through a test of, he never got to fight the Tyson Furies. He never got to fight the Deontay Wilders at the time. Whoever the top guys are at the time, none of those guys really got to run through them except a couple of individuals. So I can't honestly and wholeheartedly say that, you know, these fighters are who these fighters say they are. So I always like to put that shit on y'all to be like, bro, don't be sold on none of these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I ain't sold on Canelo. I ain't sold on none of them. None of them. And y'all, and I be saying that shit because I got evidence in my videos with my words that go back to me saying shit about these dudes and me thinking that I always thought that certain individuals, if they ran up against certain people, they would beat them. And those things have transpired. Like when I spoke on Canelo, people called me a hater. And all I said was, I think the bro plays it safe when it comes to footwork. Do I think he's an exceptional fighter? Absolutely. Do I respect Canelo's career? 1000%. But all I've always said was when it came up to his biggest fights and his biggest moments, he came up short. And when it comes to people with movement, he showed apprehension. He showed a lot of apprehension when it comes to getting in the ring with those fighters who have footwork. I said Dimitri Bivol beats him. Easy. years before the fight ever was thought of or took place. And then what happened? Them niggas fight. He washed that man 10 rounds, all around. Fuck what niggas talking about. He smoked them. He skunked them. Flat out. Flat out. He skunked them. So when I say shit like that, niggas be on me like I'm a hater. But then when you go back and you look at the shit, and when you see that I'm saying stuff like this years before, then you like, all right, man, you can go back and say, all right, bruh, just keeping it soundly optimistic. You know what I'm saying? And just keeping it, just holding up. He just speaking his truth. And there must have been some truth to that. Like, that's why I say all of these fighters are suspect, because they've never given you the prime spectacles that you deserve. They've never given you the right fights. And stylistically, I could literally make a video right now and point out every single top fighter that you can think of right now, and I could give you an opposing style, and I could put a face next to him besides a couple of guys, and I would say, that motherfucker right there, he'll stop him. He'll beat him, or he'll beat him. Or if I can't say he'll stop him or he'll beat him, I will say wholeheartedly, man, that dude gives him hell. And that's what the world need to see. The world need to see fighters going through hell. Fighters have been positioned to go walk on easy street. And when they haven't been walking on easy street, they've been doing it against really mundane, meager, mediocre, less than average opposition. Like, people are so stupid when it comes to the conversations, when it comes to fighting styles and certain fighters that they favor. It's like, yo, like Tank, for instance. When I say Tank has showed you guys, and myself included, absolutely nothing for the entirety of his boxing career. Niggas get their panties in a bunch. They call me a hater. But when I point to the resume and all of the names that are on it, then it turns into, well, it don't matter. All you got to do is touch that motherfucker one time. Bro, hand on my face emoji. Little yellow boy, hand on my face emoji. Like, then I got to come back and say, the motherfucker couldn't touch Isaac Cruz. Like, where the fuck have you guys been? He couldn't hit Isaac Cruz. Then, when he hit him, he broke his wee little head on his fucking head. So, what does that say about Tank's power? Is it real? Is it authentic? Does he stop everything that he comes up against? Is Isaac Cruz is he a proficient, is he proficiently sound in footwork? Does he have proficient footwork? No, he doesn't. Does he move gracefully around the ring? No, he doesn't. Does he use a very standard, very one-dimensional, traditional, ferocious, I'm going to walk you down, cut off of the ring, stay on the front foot, Jake LaMotta-esque kind of approach? Absolutely. Is he Jake LaMotta? Flug, no. Is he any of those great Mexican fighters that you could point to and say any of those things? We don't know. It's yet to be seen. We don't know anything about Isaac Cruz's greatness because he ain't great. But that guy that I'm saying all these things about managed to put you on the back foot from round 5 to round 12. And from round 6 to round 12, he was beating on you. So, when people talk about Devin Haney, or when people talk about Shakur Stevenson, or when people talk about other fighters who are proficient in footwork and talking about Tank being able to touch him, man, Tank can't even touch the regular subpar, mediocre, flat tire ass opponents that he's been fighting. So then let me guess, if we're not going to talk about skill set or opposition, we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about clout. We're going to talk about followings and all the shit that don't matter. Cool, I get it. So basically there's going to be a deflection for every turn, for every problem, for every hole that is in boxing, for every hole that every fighter has, for every deficiency a fighter has. We're going to make excuses for it, or we're going to gaslight a narrative, or we're going to throw up another smoke screen on top of what's what, because y'all motherfuckers would rather exist with a pretty little lie than, you know what I'm saying, stand next to the ugly fucking truth. It's just what it boils down to. These niggas is not tested, man. They not. Yo, when they started that whole like we passing everybody, no child gets left behind bullshit that is fucking up the world and really, really killing the level of IQs of, you know, the generations to come. I think boxing kind of jumped on board right with that, because it's the same type of practice. Like, bro, all of these guys, man, they need to do a little bit more. And but shout out to the ones that are willing to do it though. I don't want to get that misconstrued. I'm not saying that's Shakur Stevenson. I'm not saying that's Vasily Lomachenko. I'm not saying that's Devin Haney. I'm not saying that about a lot of individuals. I ain't saying that's Artur Beterbiev. I ain't saying that's fucking Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua, Terrence Crawford. I ain't saying that's any of those dudes. I ain't saying that's Chocolatito. I ain't saying that's any of them. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, we know who do what, man. So at the end of the day, man, I ain't got no faith in them. 140 been popping, shit about to get interested. That's a fact. 140. So it's like bro done ran up from 135 into the fucking Cobra clutch of 140, and that shit look crazy. It's about the pop. I'm telling you, 140, 135 pounds to 147 pounds could realistically like mirror the type of competition, or even like surpass the level of competition if niggas do right of what the 70s and 80s period was for us in boxing that just passed. So that shit is on the horizon again. And you know how it go. What do they say? Like every 20 years, you know, trends and shit start to repeat itself and shit like that. So boxing is in a really good place to where it could pop, and it could be a lot of real healthy beef amongst, you know, fighter and, you know, fighter. Like, but how are we gonna, you know, we're not gonna get there if these dudes don't wanna play ball. But here's the thing: when the walls close in, shit get real. And we noticing the walls are closing in for certain guys, man. And they starting to get outside of character because they starting to get exposed for what they really are. Listen, it comes to a point in boxing. I'm gonna say this, and I gotta get off here because I gotta get ready for work and all that, and deal with my pops and all that shit. It comes to a point in boxing, well, the type of boxing that these dudes have been giving us, that you literally knocked over all of the guys that are okay, all right, half decent, and somewhat halfway respectable. That the only thing left around you is motherfucking real competition and real smoke. So guess what? You didn't want to deal with it on the front end. It's going to haunt your motherfucking ass on the back end. I got to get out of here, guys. As we always say at this joint, at the end of this shit, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. Appreciate you guys tapping in with me. It did a lot for my mentality, you know what I'm saying? As always, man, hey man, pray for my pops, man. I pray for y'all, you and y'all's. Like I said, this was just good for me to keep my mind busy. I'm still working on the Deontay video. I'll release that before I head off for Jersey. Man, just keep me and my people in y'all prayers. And once again, I pray for you and y'all. As I always tell y'all, y'all motherfuckers are stars. Go out and shine like one. And as we always say at the end of this shit, cost you nothing, pay a nigga no mind. It's a motherfucking boss. Respect.